Hmm. Damn. A mate.
All right, well, welcome to December's general meeting. Just folks on Zoom, if you can use emojis or the chat to let us know that you can hear us okay in the physical space. All right, I see. No, yes, awesome. Let's see here. Where did it go? Ah. So anybody who is on Zoom, you are able to follow captions if you'd like to choose different languages to read along. And the majority of our meeting is in English. We do have, this is not your kind of like typical community meeting or even maybe typical gathering where we have a lot of back and forth dialogue. The purpose of tonight's meeting is really to vote on items that are before the board body that were discussed in all of our committee meetings this month. Those agendas are online on our website, and then if you are on Zoom, you can find it in the resources tab. And then, of course, if you're in the physical space, you can find it on the table here. Given that the only portion for folks to speak tonight is during the public session. So if you're not sure that you want to speak or that you got something to say or anything like that, you can still sign up until 7 o'clock. And even if you decide not to, we can always cross out your name. And then we don't do back and forth, so we do recognize different turns. And we ask everybody to keep it to 2 minutes and under, particularly this evening, as we have a lot of items before us. So if it's a clarifying question, a substantive question, or comments, we want to hear it. And folks on the chat, yeah, please continue to use it if, you know, the audio cuts out or anything like that. And we do ask folks to limit use of the chat just so like, I love that, or I agree with that. But really it should be for things that are said on the record. So any, you know, emails, websites, flyers, and things like that, please use the chat for that. And if you are sharing, particularly oftentimes we do have, tonight we do have representatives from our elected officials office and nonprofits. If you do have events that you want to share, you can always email them to our community board office email. I already said public sessions, sign up. We do have quorum, so I should have called the meeting to order a few minutes ago, but it's 6:46. So we're gonna officially call the meeting to order. We do have the agenda before us this evening. Is there a motion to adopt tonight's agenda?
Motion.
Heard by Tanisha, is there a second?
I have a clarification of the agenda. Aren't we going into executive session tonight? It's not-
That's if it comes up and that's part of the item.
Got it, okay.
It's not a
Thank you for
separate
that clarification.
piece, yeah.
Thank you. Second then.
Okay, seconded by Luana. Okay, we do have November's 2025 minutes. Is there a motion to adopt our minutes from November? Okay, Mary and then Anthony, I'm sorry. Okay, so we got adopted agenda and minutes. Okay, I gotta go to my phone and I hope it doesn't die. All right. I didn't introduce myself. All right, my name's Catherine, everyone. If you're new, or Kathy Diaz, current chair and outgoing chair in this one. And really for my chair report, I just wanted to share some words with my fellow members and colleagues and folks I've been working with in this capacity for the last 3 years. I've been a board member for about 9 years, 8 years. I keep making that number smaller and smaller, but 8 or like about 9, let's say 9, which I would have never imagined I'd serve this long, much less ever step into the role of chair. For folks who know me, I'm born, raised, worked most of my adult life in this neighborhood. And my first introduction to a community board meeting was when I was 17, I think. And I crashed it because I heard people were talking about police brutality and young people. And there was not one young person in sight, nor was there folks who worked with young people. So I say that to share to say the least, that it's been the most unexpected journey, literally in my life, I want to say, especially in my professional life. And I've learned so much about myself. I've learned so much, and I've been incredibly grateful for all of the paths that I've crossed, not just with our current members, but also our past members. And just the privilege of being able to know folks deeply in terms of what calls them to this work, who they are, and their families. And really, I think the gift of being in this role, I think oftentimes we've talked about, like, in community organizing and in a lot in the nonprofit sector, we often talk about how we have a band, right? And we're all playing different instruments, but the goal is that we continue to move one song. And I think I've never learned that lesson as clearly as I have here in this body. And I'm incredibly grateful for that life lesson that I think will continue to follow with me. I just really want to say thank you. Thank you for your trust, your collaboration, your patience, your grace. I know I still got a full inbox of emails that I probably haven't gotten to. So thank you for that, because as you know, it's a struggle. And we've all worked together to move this board closer to our goals of better serving our neighborhood. Thank you really for encouraging me. As I said, I would have never, ever expected to assume any leadership position here on this board. And I appreciate a lot of the folks for the confidence and believing that in the work together, we can continue to move and represent our district, which, you know, we were one of those. We bring not just here in New York City, but also particularly our community board, rings across the city. And so I want to thank everyone for that encouragement, for believing, for trusting that we can continue to hold ourselves to a higher standard as a body, because we in this neighborhood, quite frankly, deserve the very best. When I stepped into the role 3 years ago, the promise was a space, the promise that we came forward with and that I shared with the board was that this would be a space of dialogue that can serve this whole district. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. I don't know why out of all the nights. But essentially that this board, that these meetings would not just be for the chosen few who know that it exists. And that was incredibly important, I know, to me and to a lot of the folks that have served as elected officers on this board, because it's about, you know, the doñas struggling with heat complaints. It's about the street vendors that have come knocking and are trying to navigate and understand government. And it's all about the curious neighbors who, quite frankly, were like, oh, what is that? And what's going on? And the goal 3 years ago was to ensure that this was a space that can truly connect them with governmental agencies to make sure that they had a front seat at observing what our process is and being able to have a connection and move their power. Because we know we're just a very small sample of this neighborhood. We don't represent every single audience. And we want to make sure that this space, whether 10 years from now, 20 years from now, continues to serve everybody in this district. Frankly, moving past, you know, ego-centered leadership and external pressures took all of us. It wasn't easy in the last 4, 5, 6 years, 3 years, but it took all of us and we did it together. And I'm confident that our next class of officers and members will continue to build upon what we've all built. Over the last 3 years, we've had some really transformative accomplishments. Some are really small and boring, but they were mighty, which is making sure that we have smooth structures so that nobody is left behind in a meeting. Setting expectations that meetings run 3 hours or less. Clap that one up. Because that reputation really precedes, and I have to say the numbers demonstrate that, you know, around 90% of our meetings are there, and we have some small exceptions. So when we run over, it's because it's intentionally to run over and make sure that we're continuing productive dialogue in a certain time. And honestly, committing to listen more than we speak. There were others that were much more substantial, such as investing in and understanding our office as critical to our success. Asserting ourselves as a city agency in our work with the needs for resources, such as bringing in the service design studio, being able to work with the Civic Engagement Commission and having closer partnerships with the borough president and the law department. And developing methods that bring the board outdoors to finally see and understand the spaces that we advocate for. More importantly, we've learned that we can foster all of our voices within our committees and challenge ourselves to innovate, to channel the joy of serving, because none of us are here because we want to attend a meeting, but because we want to serve our district, because we want to get to know our neighbors, and to continue to think about the future of our lives and those to follow, those of our family members and the rights that they can assert and the future that our neighborhood can have. So in short, I really look forward to sitting in the back row. Being a colleague in this body and continuing to pass a baton of leadership amongst us all, to my fellow officers and future officers, my like 2 cents is continue to practice active listening. Our mandate is within the charter, and really what these last few years have demonstrated is that when we listen to the full board, when we observe our needs as a body and the needs of the office and the district, we can fully move towards our vision together. So thank you for the honor, for the confidence in serving, for the dedication, and I'm excited to continue the work together. So thanks, everybody.
I have my hand raised.
Thank you. Y'all got me nervous today. That's crazy.
I have my hand raised.
Um. Oh, okay. Liz, you have a hand?
I do. I just want to say that to your point that Community Board 12 deserves the very best. In you, we had that. I've been a member of Community Board 12 for almost 30 years, and with no disrespect to any of your predecessors, you surpassed them all by every possible standard. So, thank you.
That means a lot, Liz. Work continues, y'all. We here. All right, let me throw my shirt. All right, all these windows. All right, well, we're gonna move on to our elected officials reports this evening. I'm gonna pass the mic over to Anthony to facilitate this portion.
Okay, so we'll start with those that are online. First up is Noah Coy representing the Public Advocate's Office. You'll have three minutes.
Thank you, Anthony, and good evening,
Hey,
everyone.
sweetie.
I
Do you want to have some soup for supper?
Hold on one second. No,
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
check the volume.
I think I may be good now. All right, good evening. I hope everyone is doing well. I just want to start out by saying happy Hanukkah. I know tonight's the third night of Hanukkah, so happy Hanukkah to anyone who celebrates. I also want to say I'm sorry that I wasn't able to attend the holiday party on Friday, but I hope everyone who was in attendance had a great time. I know the public advocate himself, as well as Mr. Curtis Young, our office's Deputy Director of Community Affairs, were there. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. And I again want to just recognize and honor Mr. Ebenezer Smith on his retirement from a legendary career in public service. So I don't really have anything to share since last month's community board meeting, but as always, the public can find out about our office's upcoming events by
One
following
second,
our
I'm sorry.
Eventbrite page at nycpublicadvocate.eventbrite.com. And as always, any New Yorker who's experiencing issues with city or state agencies can reach out to our office by emailing gethelp@advocate.nyc.gov or by calling our office's constituent services hotline at 212-669-7250. And our office is also receiving constituents who schedule an appointment as well. So yeah, with that, I'd be more than happy to take questions if anyone has a question.
Thank you, Noah. No questions in the room, and I don't see anyone online with their hands up, so thank you.
Awesome. So yeah, I just want to say I think Indiana may have a question.
Yep, she just put up her hand. Indiana, go ahead. Indiana.
Apologies. I just had a quick question, and it may be something that just to take back, and then in the new year you can let us know. But I was just curious if there are ways for us to submit potential landlords and things like that for when you guys are reviewing the worst landlords or that kind of thing. Like, is there a community component to that?
Yes, that is a great question, Indiana. Our office, we do have a specific email address where I believe constituents can reach out to our office regarding our annual worst landlords watch list that we publish. I'm forgetting the email address off the top of my head, but what I will do is I will include it in the chat, and I can also send it to the community board if necessary. But I'll look that up right after
Thank you.
I'm done talking. Yeah, of course, no problem. And yeah, if there are no other questions, then I just want to say I greatly appreciate the chair, the first vice chair, the treasurer, any other officers that I may be forgetting, as well as representatives from the other elected officials' offices and the board members and community members as well. And yeah, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Three Kings Day. Apologies if I'm forgetting any other holidays. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoys the holidays that they may celebrate. And I hope everyone also has a happy and healthy new year.
Happy holidays.
Okay, thank you. We're going to take a moment to figure out what's going on with the audio in the room before we call the next speaker. Noah, thank you.
Could you enable the closed captions?
No, it's not a closed caption situation. We'll figure it out. Next. Yeah, well, that's the,
Okay, we're gonna call the next representative, Fernand Familia from Carmen de la Rosa's office. Fernand, if you're able to speak.
Yes, of course. I think the council member might be joining a little bit later as well. I think she also wants to give her own remarks, but just to give you guys a synopsis again, not to reiterate all that Noah has said, but happy holidays to everyone. We have a few things coming up for the before the end of the year. This week on Thursday is our last stated of the legislative term. That means that there will be a lot of legislation that is being reviewed and passed before the end of the year. So I would suggest folks pivot to council.nyc.gov just to keep a sense of what is being passed before the end of the year. There's a long, exhaustive list, so I won't go through everything, but part of it, which I mentioned prior, was the passage of the street vendor reform package to lift the caps on licenses and create an office to help guide in the bureaucratic process. We know that street vendors have been a longstanding issue, especially in our community, and hopefully this is a path forward to remove some of that ambiguity and update a longstanding system that needs reform. We also have hopefully the passage of the Construction Justice Act to create local hiring and minimum wage benefit package standards to bring equity to city funded projects, ensure those who build our skylines can afford to live with them, afford to live in them. We also have a few toy giveaways before the end of the year. One is at Juan Pablo Duarte Foundation at the GW bus terminal on the 22nd from 3 to 6. And we also have one, I believe, on Sunday. So please refer to Councilmember De La Rosa's social media accounts as we'll be updating with those flyers and location information. Just to give a synopsis of what we've done in the past 4 years, we have a high need district and we are honored to serve our constituents. That being said, we serve an average of 5,000 constituent cases every year. So that means that since we started, it's been over 15,000 cases, introducing dozens of legislation, organizing over 35 buildings, empowering tenants, hosting annually over 60 events to engage the community and provide free resources and empower our people, and bringing over 55 million in capital and 15 million in discretionary and programmatic funding over the past 4 years. And we're looking forward to the next 4 years. We also were happy to celebrate the retirement of our beloved Ebenezer Smith on Friday. Congratulations to him, and we wish him the best in the next chapter, as well as our chair, Kathy Diaz. This is from a personal standpoint, but I feel like Community Board 12 has not been this way ever. It's seen a new era, and I'm sad to see you go, but I'm so proud that the Community Board has turned this new leaf and that we can move forward into the next chapter with this fresh personality that I think that Community Board has taken on. And as someone who has to go through several community boards, I will say that Community Board 12 has their things together. So you guys should all be proud of yourselves for the incredible work that you do. And I'm incredibly honored to be able to serve with you guys. So that being said, if you have any questions, please let me know and I'm here to answer.
Great, thank you. I don't see any hands in the room and I don't see any online. Thank you so much. And just a reminder for all those representatives speaking, if you could please send your reports to our Secretary Alexis Marnell so she can include those in our minutes. That'd be greatly appreciated. We can provide you her email after the meeting if you don't have it. Next up is Ian Baldiston from Councilmember Bray's office.
Hey everyone, thanks for having me. Happy Hanukkah, happy holidays from Councilmember Bray's office. I had, generally the same sort of legislative update as Frey, so I'll skip over that and keep it a little bit shorter tonight. Though recently in the news, Uber and DoorDash recently filed a lawsuit against the city concerning a tipping option transparency law that was led by Councilmember Breu. It had the intention, of protecting workers and increasing their wages and also providing consumer transparency. That's been in the news lately. So, hopefully the judge will rule in favor of the city council. Coming up in the district, we'll have VFW at our office on Thursday from 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. So, if you're a veteran or if you know a veteran that may help accessing benefits, please stop by. You can walk in or you can call our office ahead to make an appointment. Also, last general meeting, someone had a question for me regarding the plans for an elevator installation, for the elevator installation plans at the 157th Street subway station. I didn't have an answer for that at the time, but I reached out to our point of contact at the MTA. He said that it is part of the 2025 to 2029 capital plan, and it's still currently under design right now. So once the design is complete and sent out for RFP, then they'll have, more of a better date or kind of timeline on that. He also sent us a new capital project dashboard that the MTA recently came out with. It's just like a map that shows, the status of various projects going on around the city, including those in Upper Manhattan. You can find it at the website. It's a pretty useful resource and is interesting to take a look. And once again, congrats to the chair and to Ebenezer as well for your public service. Really appreciate everything that you guys have done, despite me being newer. And yeah, that's all sort of the pertinent updates from me for now. So once again, thanks for having me and happy holidays to everyone. And feel free to ask any questions.
Do we have any questions for Ian? I don't see any in the room, and I don't see any hands online. Thanks, Ian. Did I miss any of the elected representatives online?
Yes, I am here, but I'm currently at our holiday mixer where we're also using it up as an opportunity to collect toys for a toy drive that's coming up tomorrow at the United Palace. There's another one that we're doing on the 22nd with the amazing Uptown elected officials. I believe Frey just reported on that one. Trying to think if there was another one. There are a few more, but I'll send the rest to the secretary. If you could add her email to the chat box. And when it comes to legislation, we are currently reintroducing some legislation, and we will be also introducing some new legislation. So stay tuned to our end of the year recap, where you'll see what we're reintroducing and what was passed. That was prime sponsor from our office. And I think that's all I have, folks. I'm sorry, I'm at the mixer, so I don't have any community events that I could think of on the top of my head, but I will send everything to the secretary for y'all to share.
Great, thanks, Diana. And that concludes electeds online. And then we have one in person. We have Edgar Taveras from Senator Robert Jackson's office.
Good evening, CB12. Of course, happy holidays, and hopefully it'll be a good new year, right? So we do have a few things to report. Recently, there was a town hall with Pinnacle Realty tenants that included tenants not only from Washington Heights, but also Inwood, Midtown, and in Brooklyn. This is the expansion of the tenants union that originally started years ago in Brooklyn, and now we're including Manhattan residents in that effort in order to protect tenants and their rights. So there are, our housing, our focus on housing is priority. On top of that, we will be holding more Know Your Rights events in local, in buildings involved in the litigation with Pinnacle Realty. That includes one tomorrow. Of course, the senator is also a co-sponsor of the New York State Health Act, which he is along with Senator Gustavo Rivera, which they're both extremely interested in eventually getting passed, considering that we all know that our premiums are going up next year, on top of other things. Aside from that, I'm sorry, there is one more thing I wanted to mention. No, I don't have much time. No, we also did, on a happier note, we also did a pernil and turkey distribution earlier today with Word Up Bookstore. Gave out several hundreds of items regarding food, and we'll hopefully we may come through to continue doing food distribution even after the holidays. But if there are any questions, that's pretty much it. Bless you.
Thank you.
I don't see any in the room or any online.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Edgar. And then before we close out the session, I saw that our council member Carmen De La Rosa has just joined us. Freynette spoke a little bit, but I know that you wanted to give a few words, so.
Hey, hi. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Thank you for having me. I mostly wanted to come since this is the last board of the year, last board meeting of the year. I wanted to take the opportunity to update you on some of the things our office has been working on. Obviously, my staff is always here every meeting to update you all on the ongoing efforts that our office has. But I did want to take first a moment to thank Kathy Diaz. Tonight is the last meeting of Kathy as chair. I thought that it was important for us to recognize your leadership, to recognize the way that you have really turned this board into an effective advocacy platform for our community. You've done an amazing job, and I know it's bittersweet when chapters end, but the beginnings are on the horizon. And so I want to take the opportunity to thank you and also to thank the board. You know, we have been partnering on issues from housing to transportation. Poor Leo, I think I drive you crazy every few weeks on DOT matters, housing, which continues to be one of the most important issues of our district, education. I mean, we've partnered on so many things, from pop-ups to inform the community of the rights. Just last week, we held one at Word Up Bookstore with the Justice Committee to make sure that our community is vigilant as this administration continues to attack our communities and to militarize ICE upon our communities. I've been on the forefront of that. And, you know, these last 4 years at the council have flown by. They always say they fly by when you're having fun. I've been privileged to be able to, in the last 4 years, not only be the chair of the Women's Caucus and the vice chair of the Progressive Caucus, but also the chair of the Civil Service and Labor Committee. Well, we've really been focusing on workers' rights. You know, I don't want to take credit for saving the Daily News, but one of the major things we did this year was that we stood with the Daily News Union to make sure that a private equity company that was coming in to buy our hometown paper respected the workers at the newsroom. And we've been doing that, whether it's Starbucks workers, Amazon workers, SAG-AFTRA workers, just making sure that the people of our city are protected. You know, I am a commuter, even though I do have a car and I drive sometimes. But when I get on the train in the morning, it is the working people of our communities that ride those trains. And so it is so important for me to, in the council, stand up for working people. And, you know, I'm proud of some of the achievements that our office has been able to do. I have an amazing team, and I want to just tell you some of the things that we've done. I won't take too long, but you know, we are in the process, in the midst. Tomorrow, the council will be voting out a street vendor reform package that will change the way that vending happens in our streets. I'm also tomorrow passing one of the most important pieces of legislation that I've shepherded to this moment in the council, which is the Construction Justice Act, to make sure that construction workers are paid to build housing in our city. One of the things we've identified in the committee is that workers who build our city are living disproportionately in homeless shelters. And so they should be able to afford the housing that they're building for us. We've obviously done over 15,000 constituent cases and been able to resolve them positively with the city agencies, and that has not been easy because we don't always have partners on the other side, and I'm grateful to those that have been partners. We've introduced over 40 pieces of legislation. We've also organized 35 buildings in the district. You know, I heard Senator Jackson's office talk about Pinnacle. That is one of the most important things that we can do in this district, is help tenants to organize, because when tenants know their rights, they're able to also protect themselves and their families. And also, it's going to take all of us to make sure that tenants are being treated fairly in our district. And then I'm proud that we brought over $55 million in capital restorations to the district and over $15 million in programmatic funds, which includes, you know, projects in parks that have been languishing for many, many years. Which include school projects. You know, most of our schools in the district are really old. We've been working to really modernize our schools and working, I see Noemi here, with youth to be the ones who determine their own destinies. So through our participatory budgeting project, we've been able to get the youth to get involved and really determine how they want to spend city dollars. So it's been an honor. We have a lot more to do. We have a co-governance project that in the next session is going to be putting together a District 10 action plan. We're working to look at different opportunities for using landmarking tools in the district, because I think it's important for us to preserve as much as we can of what exists. And we're going to continue to be an office that is approachable and open to all of you. So I'm excited for what the next 4 years hold. We'll have a new mayor, we'll have a new cabinet, and hopefully a continued productive relationship with all of you here at the board. So thank you. Well, definitely.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions for the council member from board members? Oh, we have one.
Just wondering if you have any. I know that you have in the past talked about permit parking.
Yes.
And resident permits.
Yes.
Do you have any updates and progress or?
Yeah,
decisions
we
you're
were
having?
able to get it done this session, but it will be reintroduced next session. Part of the issue with permit parking is that we need a two-part process. We need the state to give the city permission to do the pilot. One lesson that we learned this year in trying to get permit parking done is that we have to build a coalition, because there's different council members that are trying to do it in different districts. So we've already started to meet. We need to get it done before the legislature is out in June. So one way that you all
Alianza building, right?
One of the things that we can do in going into the session is get our state electeds to support, and I'm happy to report that Senator Jackson has picked up the bill in the state Senate. So I'm grateful to him and his commitment to making this happen. And so we'll be working together to make sure that we can get this done.
Thank you.
Okay, I see a question from Wayne. Wayne, I'm going to give you the mic. Just give me 1 second.
Thank you. Not a question, but more a statement of thanks. Carmen, as you know, I'm speaking on behalf of my dear colleagues at the Morris Chanel Mansion, which is a city-owned building, but the nonprofit that runs the permanent there has been the one advocating for its restoration, and your support has been really indispensable. And if you've noticed, there's now a construction fence around the mansion. So phase 1 is beginning, and there will be a groundbreaking ceremony in the cold of winter next month, but we're happy to do it. And I just want to say that, you know, without your support and the dollars, this city-owned building would continue to just fall apart. And it's been there for longer than this country has been the country.
Yes.
And that would be a shame. So thank you so much.
Pleasure. And that's what capital dollars are for, right? To preserve the places that hold our history. Catherine at the mansion has been doing an amazing job. I've been there like 3 times this year alone. Every opportunity that I can, I go inside and I witness what's happening there. So it's my pleasure. Thank you for what you do.
Great, thanks, Councilmember.
Thank you all.
So the next portion of the agenda is the Borough President's Report. And I think I just saw Marielle join on Zoom, so
Oh, yeah, she's there.
Marielle, if you want to speak, this is your portion.
Anthony, I'm outside and it's hard to speak, so I'll speak when I get to the meeting later on.
Okay. So let's move on to the public session then. We'll start with the one online, which is Liz Ritter speaking on behalf of her synagogue in Uptown Wayne. Liz, you have 2 minutes. Liz, are you
Hi,
able to-
sorry, it took me a second to find unmute. It's a little clumsy on the phone. So 2 things, wearing my Beth on the People's Temple hat. We are having a fantastic klezmer concert on next Tuesday, a week from tonight, December 23rd. It will be at the Hebrew Tabernacle, 551 Fort Washington Avenue at 185th Street. If you don't know what klezmer is, it's raucous Jewish soul music on, clarinets and violins, and it's just marvelous. Please come. You can message me and I can give you the information on how to get tickets. It's pretty inexpensive and we priced it so that it's really family friendly. In December, Hebrew Tabernacle and Beth Am the People's Temple are doing Mitzvah Day. It's a day of good deeds and social action. We will be doing, but you don't have to be Jewish to participate. You just have to care about the community. We're going to be doing projects that benefit local parks, that benefit Uptown Wagon. We're going to be doing a letter writing campaign on climate action, a variety of other things. That's going to be on Monday, Martin Luther King's Day, Monday, January 19th from 12:30 to 2:30. We'll also be cooking food for the community fridge. We'll be making care kits and sorting donated winter clothing for Uptown Wagon. And the last thing is Uptown Wagon is having a pop-up distribution of clothing and toiletries in Montefiore Park on Sunday, January 24th at donations starting to be accepted at 1 and distribution beginning at 3. Again, I am happy to send flyers to the office to be distributed online. And thank you for your attention and support.
Thanks, Liz. You are the only member or public speaker online. You 3 in person. I'm going to ask all 3 to line up to my left, your right. The first one is Dennis. I apologize if I get your name wrong. Dennis Tursinovic.
Perfect.
Really? Okay. Speaking on behalf of Boogie Lab, you're number 1, followed by Robert Burke. Speaking on behalf of Hudson River Community Sale, and then followed by Octavio Blanco, speaking about Dolphin Park. So Robert and Octavio, if we could have you line up, and then Dennis, you can come up to the podium and speak. Each person will have 2 minutes once they begin speaking.
Good evening, everyone. Happy holidays, everyone. Thank you for having us this evening. My name is Dennis Tursinovic and Joseph McCool. Oh, I'm sorry. We're in the neighborhood. We are opening a bakery restaurant at 4015 Broadway, 169th Street and Broadway, the old Coogan space. I'm grateful to be a part of this community. It'll be a sourdough bakery serving breakfast, brunch, lunch, and dinner from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week. We will be hiring locally, and we will be having some programs like Double Bread, which will be buy one, give one to the community, which we produce a sourdough bread that's made of beer waste. Not a bad thing, it's a good thing. It's actually a high protein bread, and also we'll be donating to City Harvest as well. Any questions?
Any questions? Limited to clarifying questions. Bruce, I'm going to give you the mic.
Sorry?
What is the name of the restaurant?
Boogie Lab Bakery.
Boogie Lab.
Boogie Lab, yeah.
I-E or Y?
Boogie. Like
Lab.
Boogie in every song.
Boogie Lab?
Yeah.
What does that mean to you guys?
We actually we're from Europe originally, so we started a small concept there. We wanted to bring it here. It's actually we produce sourdough bread, super healthy before actually yeast was available for bread to make it for mass production. We just use flour, salt, and water.
Right.
And it's really yummy. It's artisanal and it's very affordable. So
Bread,
it'll be a lot of fun.
pasta,
Bread, pasta,
granola,
pizza,
a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, yes.
I gotta clarify.
All right, I saw Sonia first and then Tanisha, and then we'll close it out.
Sonia
There you
first.
go.
Hold on. There's an 88. Yes.
Good evening, everyone. When's the opening date?
There you go.
We're waiting for Con Edison to deliver us some additional power in the building. We're hoping for March or April. Spring, but we'll have an event and invite community leaders to the opening event. We'll try it out. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the community.
Thank you.
Yes, I have a clarifying question. So I heard you say it, but there's things going on in our community where some of us are going to the store and we're buying bread, and when you wet it, it's like a sponge. So you are saying that this is real bread. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And I think those are all the questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Next up is Robert Burke from Hudson River Community Sale.
Let us know what y'all need.
It's really hard to follow good bread, I have to.
Right.
But I'm here tonight. We tried to get a resolution passed with the Parks and Culture Committee and didn't happen. And Luana said I should come make a statement to the general board. So I'm the executive director of Hudson River Community Sailing. Been in the neighborhood at Dykeman Marina for about as long as Kathy's been on the board, about 8 or 9 years. It was difficult to kind of come up and work under there because it started under La Marina, but we wanted to bring our program that we had in Chelsea. We had a really good model. We wanted to bring it here, and it was a really great choice. We were able to raise a lot of money. We started new programs with middle school students. We started a new program for people living with disabilities, and it was really very successful. We were embraced by the community. We were embraced by our funders and foundation supporters, and we really got something great going. Now we've worked with hundreds of students through middle school and high school, many into their college careers. Many of them have worked for us, so we have good paying jobs for many of them. Many of them gone on to college to look at STEM opportunities that they learned in Sail Academy, including SUNY Maritime. We've had over 1,000 people with disabilities, including many veterans. We worked with the Bronx VA quite a bit, and several thousand people through our community days, and then thousands through the general public as members. Anyway, I'm a little emotional because this is a goodbye for us. This is a program that's very dear to my heart. We set up the programs, and I had worked here in the 90s. I'm really sorry. So I worked up here in the 90s with Children's Aid when we opened up 218. And I knew what a great community it was, and I knew what great resources we had, and I knew how much I liked working with the kids in Georgetown here. I was 218, so we were very optimistic when Parks took over La Marina, and right from the beginning with the RFP and our proposal, that changed. I think our proposal was a little far-reaching for Parks. We wanted to take the first floor of the Quonset hut and turn it into boat building for kids. They wanted to use it for private kayak storage. That's what happened. We had $300,000 between Borough President's Office, Con Edison, and some private donors to do a floating classroom concept that was going to be built Coast Guard standards, and it wasn't permitted. We had in design, and money had to go away. We had trouble trying to get a second Hoyer lift on those docks. And right up until this year, in Heroes in Hudson, we don't have a second Hoyer lift. We only have one. That's the device we use to transfer people to the boats from wheelchairs. So anyway, I know I'm coming on time. Couldn't figure out why this was happening. And then in November of 2022, at the Parks and Culture Committee, we learned, Parks announced that they were going to be probably closing the marina because they were gonna rebuild the fishing pier, which we were totally supportive, but they were gonna move it inside the footprint of the marina, which was a surprise. And at that point, I think knowing that, you know, the bigger we were, the more successful we were, the harder it's gonna be for them to do that. So I know my time's up. So since 2023, we've been fighting for staging. We didn't win. We've had a letter writing campaign. We've talked to all the electeds. We've had several news stories. We have a website, dykemanmarina.org. We've looked for other sites and we're not there yet. So we're unsuccessful. We are going to be shut down in early 2026. However, we are going to stay in the schools that we work with. So we're going to keep our staff working there. I know I have really short. So I just want to say goodbye for HRCS. We hope it's a pause and not an end. We hope we can come back. And we just ask the community board, you have a really precious resource there. Please keep an eye on this project and make sure it gets the goals that you want to achieve with it. And then please look at the next RFP and make sure it really prioritizes education and community access and not private boat storage. And I also urge you to look at that upland space and those facilities and what they can do for education. So thank you for the extra time, and I apologize for.
Thank you, Robert. Okay, and then our last public speaker is Octavio Blanco speaking about Dolphin Park.
I just wanted to say to you, my son participated in one of your courses. It's a wonderful program, and I do hope that you find a way to stick around. Good evening, everybody. I'm Octavio Blanco. I'm a local resident. I'm also a co-host of a new podcast called Uptown Voices. I encourage you all to listen. I'm here to speak about Dolphin Park. I was at the meeting for Parks and Culture, and we spoke and I presented the issue of Dolphin Parks, and we I want to put it on the record that we spoke about how do we get this issue elevated. I'm listening to all the issues that the elected officials are dealing with. I do think that maybe Dolphin Park seems like a low priority, but I would encourage everybody to push the priority up on this park because it's really a space that needs to be utilized better. Unfortunately, it's in a place politically that's a little bit sticky. It's owned by the Port Authority, and it's really not in the jurisdiction of Community Board 12 to get the park opened. It really is something that Port Authority needs to do. So one of the agreements that we came up with during the Parks Committee meeting was that the Parks and Transportation would hopefully be able to come up with a joint resolution that could then be presented to particularly our state electeds in the area to advocate for the neighbors who I'm representing today who are interested in opening this little park. What can I say? What's interesting and heartening about this time is that there's a new leadership at Port Authority that is led by a New Yorker, and hopefully they'll be more open to our requests. So thank you. I wanted to make sure that this was on the record, and I'm happy to answer any questions that I can.
They're clarifying, yep.
Anthony, just ask him to clarify the location.
Oh, can you clarify the location of the park?
Absolutely. It's a very lovely little pocket park that's located at the end on the western end of 180th Street and Cabrini Boulevard. It's in the shadow of the George Washington Bridge. It's beautiful and it's unused. There's various issues on why that's the case, but it is located at the end of 180th Street on the very western end and Cabrini Boulevard.
Great, thank you. Any other I see Indiana online has a hand. I don't know if that was for the speaker or the last one. I apologize, Indiana.
That's okay. It was for the last speaker. I'm not sure if he's still there.
Yeah, actually, I think he just left. I do apologize.
Okay, no worries. I just was going to ask if they still had the accessible sailing option in the downtown location. So just want to say that for on the record. And I've had a great experience with them as well. So sad to see them go uptown.
Thank you. Luana, do you know if they have the ADA compliant one in the Chelsea location?
In the Chelsea location?
Yeah.
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, we'll definitely bring that back.
Yeah.
I see a hand from
To
you.
say yes, but I don't want to confirm.
Okay, thank you. I see a hand from the attendees that this portion is only for board members with clarifying questions, and I don't see any more. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, and then to conclude this section, we're just gonna go back to item F for Mariel de la Cruz. Where'd she go? She said she was here. Okay, well, all right.
Hi, everyone. I am here. I'm in a dark cab and I'm on my way up, but I wanted to read a few points from the borough president's office. So Thanksgiving distributions, the MBPO led distributions across the borough, feeding approximately 15,450 people. In partnership with Westside Campaign Against Hunger, Hunts Point Market and Meat Market, Food First, Department of Veteran Services, and Pantry Catholic Charities, with Hispanic Federation. So those are some of the distributions that we did that were pretty big. And sidewalk sheds will look different. So November 18th, the Department of Buildings released a series of new designs for sidewalk sheds that dramatically reduce the number of sheds that are on our city streets. You may remember the office released Shed the Sheds in 2024 that laid out policy proposals to reform that, which led to the city council passing important reforms. We're excited to see progress, and Borough President Levine will work to implement these new changes and continue to advocate for smarter neighborhoods. Also, Borough President Levine carries with him the deep understanding of structural changes the community boards face. Throughout his term, he has pushed for increased resources, better technology, fair treatment of city agencies, including DCAS, the Law Department, and City Hall. He has testified in 3 separate charter revision efforts to strengthen and clarify the city charter, and knows how much more has to be done. But on behalf of the borough president, I wanted to say thank you to the team. Thank you, Kathy. I know this is your last meeting for all of the work that you've done, and that is coming from Borough President Mark Levine. It's coming from Porfirio Figueroa that could not be here tonight because he's in another community board, and from me as well, Mariel de la Cruz. So I know you all have a long meeting ahead, or hopefully not, but a long meeting ahead. So thank you so much for the work that you do. You are seen in our office. The reason I'm not there yet is because we had a volunteer gathering. We had a few folks that are actually in the room that also volunteer, but are at the community board meeting now. So thank you so much for everything, and I will see you all when I get there in a few.
Great, thank you so much.
No problem. And I was still waiting for the standing ovation. It didn't happen, but once I arrive, I wait for it, y'all. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, and I'll turn it back to Kathy now.
Yeah, it's all right. All right, we're gonna move on to the next portion of our agenda, which is from our nominating committee. For those who don't know, we have elections every December. So I'm gonna have our nominating committee, I'm gonna pass it to y'all and you take it away.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Kick me out of my.
Just gonna give them a minute. You gotta go. First 3 rows.
You got you got a better place. Whose chair is it? Okay, well, I'm taking your chair as you take it.
I have to break the ice for myself. Every single time I come up here, I get a little nervous. And then I do something a little weird and crazy, break the ice, get the ball rolling. How's everyone doing? Everyone all right?
Hey.
Good. Okay. So tonight we're gonna finalize the nominating committee procedure process. We're gonna go over, we're gonna vote for the candidates. Gonna first review a little bit of what happened last time. We went over the nominating committee process, presented the candidates, filled the positions. Tonight, as I stated, we're gonna be voting for the new board officers. Their term will run from January 1st, 2026 until December 31st, 2026. The process is gonna go as follows for tonight. We're gonna have six candidates who are gonna each answer 2 questions. They are each gonna have 2 minutes to answer each one of those questions. By the way, I gotta step back a little. I wanna give this team a shout out and Lisette, who's on, for doing an amazing job. Sorry. They were great. A lot of work, went over the questions, did everything. It was an amazing team experience and teamwork. So I really appreciate it. And I apologize, I didn't say that first. No, thank you. I gotta get that in. It's important. So yeah, I'll continue. So 2 minutes to answer each one of the questions. Board members may ask clarifying questions regarding each one of those questions. Clarifying questions, you want to define terms, get a little bit more detail, but nothing outside of that scope, please. So we can get, through the entire agenda as quickly as possible. Does anyone have any questions? No one has any questions. Okay, so we're gonna start with, we'll get the patents later after the questions. So we're gonna start with the first set of questions that are gonna be asked by Ty. Okay.
Just to be clear, Erwin did all the work. So our nominee for Assistant Secretary is Liz Ritter. Liz, do we have you on the call?
You do. Hold on, let me put my video on. Okay.
Okay, so our first question for you, and you'll have 2 minutes to answer, is
Yes.
ideas do you have to enhance collaboration with the secretary in managing board attendance?
Well, first I want to say that it's not actually our job to manage board attendance. It's our job to monitor it. So the two are different. I think that the committee chairs, I think each of the board members is responsible for managing their own attendance. I think the committee chairs are responsible for managing the attendance of the committees of, his or her committee. And I think the chair of the board is responsible for managing people's attendance. It's the job of the secretary, supported by the assistant secretary, to monitor attendance. So in the past, I've been secretary, I think 3 times, been assistant secretary, I think twice. I've spent probably, 15 years being secretary or assistant secretary. And what we've done is gather attendance information and sign-up sheets from the committee chairs and from the board office, and periodically keep a running tally of people's attendance. If they're not attending meetings, are they excused absences or unexcused absences? And then reaching out to board members who have a certain number of absences to let them know this is what the record states, to give people the opportunity to correct the record if there are mistakes, because we're all human and sometimes mistakes are made. People forget to sign in, they should be considered excused, what have you. And then to give people warning letters if their attendance is not commensurate with the requirements of the bylaws. And yeah, we have a process that works, and I think we just need to keep sticking with it. And it's a little tedious, but I'm happy to help the secretary to do that with the support of the office staff.
All right, you landed exactly at 2 minutes. Very nicely done.
Thank
Do
you.
we have any questions in the room for Liz on that? Clarifying questions?
Liz, I have a question, since you've
Yes, ma'am.
experienced secretary, assistant secretary. This year and a half, you and a bunch of us are turning over, how do you see coming into, how do you see yourself coming into exec, into assistant secretary, in terms of the next year and a half? Like what, what level now? I guess, yeah, like what do you feel like you would like to build in that role?
One of the things that I'm proud of as the former Parks and Cultural Affairs Committee is I tried really hard to groom leadership within the committee and to try and find a new chair to take over the work that I'd done for so long. So I'm really pleased with the work that Luana is doing. And I think that all of us who have longer tenure on the board have a responsibility to stay in open communication with our fellow committee members, excuse me, and to be available to answer questions that newer members may have of older members, more tenured members. Sorry, we got a lot of coughing going on here. So I think I would just like to continue in that vein, knowing that I got 18 months left and a lot of knowledge to dump. So people, ask me questions.
All right, and we have one more question for you. 2 more minutes. Do you feel prepared and confident to step into the role of secretary if needed, and why?
Oof. I mean, I've done it before. I've done it a lot. I was good at it. I'm prepared. It's not something I particularly want to do because it's a little bit more of a time commitment than I have available. But, Alexis, I really hope you plan to stay as secretary for a year so that I am helping you and supporting you and not replacing you. But, we all need to do what we have to do. So if, God forbid, I need to step up, I am prepared and qualified to do that.
Yeah, I don't plan on dying.
Yeah. I just don't want you to run out screaming with your hair on fire. You know what I'm saying?
Any other clarifying questions for Liz? Okay. Seeing none.
I'm gonna stay on the call, but I'm gonna cut my video and my audio because I got a very coffee croupy granddaughter who needs to have a story read.
You are good. Thank you for making the effort.
Thanks. You bet.
All right. So our next nominee is for secretary.
So I'm gonna still listen to the meeting, but they can't hear us. And
That's outside, I'll tell you. Thanks. Yeah, come on up, yeah.
The best secretary yet.
So sorry, I need to like kill you.
All right, so the first question is, can you explain your continued interest in serving as secretary?
That's a really good question because I have no idea why. No. This is not an easy job, but it is one that needs to be done, and it is one that is in support of the entire board. So in service to the community, that is why I want to continue on.
All right, any clarifying questions? Okay, so we'll move forward.
Okay.
The next question is, how do you improve attendance tracking and follow up on board member attendance issues?
So one of the things I want to do is help to just streamline this whole role of secretary so that it is more attractive when it comes to next year's elections so that people don't fear it. I want to make this job less cumbersome, less fearful for the person that steps into this in 2027. One thing we have to do is get a little bit more specific in taking attendance to understand better why people are showing up on Zoom when they don't have an exemption, to make sure that people who are attending via Zoom reach out to the office to explain their reasoning for not showing up in person. Also, what I'd like to do is, one thing I want to do is also go through these things we're doing it every 6 months, but now I'd like to just review every 3 months attendance to see what's going on. This way, we have a little bit more time to catch any mistakes. So it's not waiting like 6 months or a year out. It is every 3 months, and then perhaps we'll report on it, and or send out a letter saying, hey, you board, it's been 3 months, you've missed X amount of meetings. And it just gives more clarity and more detail on this.
All right, any clarifying questions for Alexis? Okay, seeing none, we'll move forward. So ACON's gonna handle the next couple.
Hope everyone's doing well. Just want to thank Erwin again. He really guided us through this process and the rest of the committee. So first, we're going to start with the nominee for treasurer. That is Heidi Guzman. So feel free to come on up. And our first question for you, what makes you a good fit for the treasurer role?
So I think besides just some of the things that make you a good member of this board and a responsible member of this board, right? So attending their meetings, making sure you're submitting, whether you're going to be on Zoom to the board office, attending your meetings on time, being a diligent, hard worker. The people who are on land use with me know that very well, that I'm a diligent, hard worker. The minutes are not easy. Shout out to Alexis. And I think aside from those things, I have actually a lot of experience. So some of you may know that I'm an attorney. One of my first jobs out of law school was working at a major law firm where I received extensive training on how to review financial statements. And I also handled internal investigations representing financial services corporations. And my last role before my current job at DOT was handling internal investigations of police misconduct. So I think both being a good, diligent board member and also having specific experience with financial statements and investigations makes me a good fit for this role. And also, I think I'm a good person to work with.
Thank you. Any clarifying questions? Wow. Perfect. Second question for you, Heidi. What financial management strategies would you propose to ensure accountability, transparency, and fiscal responsibility in handling the committee board's budget and resources?
So I think some of the things that are already in our rules and bylaws kind of cover some of these things, right? So there are quarterly reports that are done by the treasurer at these meetings, and there are also quarterly updates to the executive committee, and I plan on continuing to carry that into my term. I think another thing is that we're entering into a new era where we're going to have a new district manager. And so the treasurer works with the district manager to essentially oversee the budget. And so something that I would really like to do is to work with our new district manager on how basically to formalize some of these procedures, whether it is that we have a monthly or quarterly standing call where we discuss the budget, whether it is that I oversee the spreadsheets and the budget that the district manager is preparing, or whether it's vice versa, or whether it's a collaborative effort. So I think that is one big thing that's an opportunity for us as board members to work with our new district manager. And I think in terms of transparency, some of these tools already exist, and I think it's about making sure that people are aware. So for example, the New York City Comptroller has a service called checkbooknyc.com, and that is a website where anybody can check contracts between city agencies and private entities or other city agencies. So if you went on checkbooknyc.com right now and you look at Community Board 12, you would see the budget for Community Board 12 for I think it's like the last 10 years at least. And you would see the breakdown of the budget by whether that's personnel, rent, and other expenses. And so I would bet that a lot of you didn't know that exists, right? So maybe that's just that we put that on the community board website so that people are aware that that's there. And that's a way for you as board members and members of the public to kind of act as a check and increase transparency and accountability.
Thank you so much. Any questions? Thank you. If not, we will move on to our nominee for second vice chair and our current second vice chair, Tanisha Grant. Thank you. So our first question, right over here. I will. Reflecting on your time on the community board and as second vice chair, what skills have you acquired that would help you continue performing in that role?
Well, I would say that skills that I already have been enhanced. And the skills that I have as a leader in my community and in my personal life, I understand that leaders build other leaders and leaders support other leaders. So in my role as second vice chair, I am here to support the first vice chair and the chair in all things that they want to do and make sure that they get done.
Thank you. Any questions?
Now we'll go on to the second question. How do you plan to support the chairperson and first vice chair in building a cohesive leadership team?
Well, I think that we've been working on that already, so it will be a continuation of the amazing work environment that we have created with the executive committee. I'm including some of y'all that we have already, started working. So I feel like that will continue. Me and Anthony work very well together. I very much support him in everything that he does. I think that he is an excellent leader, just as I think that our chair now is an excellent leader. And, real leaders follow leaders. I think is one of the main points of being a leader. You have to know when to step up and you have to know when to step back. And sometimes that leadership just means making sure that we are continuing on the right track. And I think that we are.
Thank you so much. Any questions? If not, I want to thank all of the candidates for their current and future service, and I will pass off to D for the final question.
Come on, D. Go.
How you guys doing? Good evening. So first I'll call up chair, which will be Anthony. Come up. Sorry, I act like I didn't know that. So first question is, what new challenges do you see emerging in our neighborhood, and how will you address them?
So first, thanks to the nominating committee. I was on the nominating committee at one time. I know it's a lot of work. I think there are two ways to address this question. The first is looking at the issues that the community board has to address. And I think that a lot of the issues that we've been looking at over the past many years are going to be the same issues that we're looking at into the next year, but with a new face. So we are coming into a new mayoral administration. We're going to have a new borough president. I think what will be important for us is to look at how those administrations decide to handle a lot of the same issues that we've been handling around housing, public safety, education, and work within our committees to address those concerns. So for example, with housing, the incoming mayor has made housing a major aspect of this platform. So I think once his administration takes hold, it's going to be about looking at things like our standards back in June 2024 and deciding whether we want to modify those and put up new development standards for the board to implement. With public safety, another major aspect of that campaign was around the Department of Community Safety. That's a brand new city agency that would report theoretically to our Public Safety Committee. And so they're going to have to we're going to have to discuss what the issues that they're facing are and determine, what the board's position will be. So that's one way of looking at it. The other is internal and taking a look at our internal controls. So I heard two issues tonight so far. I think the first is many of our board members will be termed out in the next, 2 to 3 years. And so working around and developing procedures is extremely important. So as first vice chair, as you all know, I put together procedures around our elected officers. This way, as Alexis had mentioned, as Liz had discussed, when the next set of officers come in, they have something to look at. It's also a contingency plan. So this way, it encourages people to want to run for those offices. And then in terms of internal controls, I think the other big piece of feedback we have is follow-up. So when the new DM comes in, one of the first things I want to do with them is a look back exercise. Look at all of the resolutions we passed over the last year, other than licensing and cannabis, and determine what we need to follow up on, call the agencies up, what have they done, what haven't they done, and why. And so those are the things I would do.
So the second question is, how can we increase engagement in the board from local elected officials and CB12 community members?
So starting with community members, I think there are three things. So the first is our website. We talked about that a little bit tonight. That is our primary presence online. And so community members are going there for information about us. We need to make sure that that website is updated, it's accessible, and it's easy to navigate. So that would be a core tenet of my year. The next is social media. So we have a number of social media accounts, but many of them are inactive or not very used. We do receive funding for various purposes, and my intent after speaking to the current treasurer would be to to use some of that funding, particularly from our council member, to hire a consultant to come in and tell us how we can best use our social media platforms. How do we engage people through it? And then the last thing is a bit of a simple one, but unfortunately we haven't been taking advantage of it. So many of you have seen Link NYC all over our district. That is a tool that the community boards have at their disposal for free, but it requires the continued submission of a form for our meeting information to appear on there. And so I would implement the process to make sure that that's being done every single month for every single committee and general board meeting. The next thing around elected officials. So that one, I would say two things. One, all of our elected officials operate within bodies just like this, meaning that they have committees. So I think one thing I would do is see what are their biggest issues, and address those and encourage them to go to the committees that align most with the committees that they are operating on within their bodies. The second is, I think our elected officials are very results oriented. And they, as I think our council members spoke tonight about, they're very interested in knowing what the board's outcomes are and how it can be effective. I think the best way to promote our outcomes is through press releases. So going back to our website, I think what I would propose is we have a newsroom section of our website, and each time we do something of consequence on the board, we post 2 to 3 paragraphs online available for the public that it's digestible and it explains exactly what we did and why. So that's how I've changed the payment.
Thank you, Anthony. Any questions? No questions? Thank you. Now we're going to Leo Jimenez for first vice chair.
Leo.
What's it your turn? So the first question is, do you feel prepared to step in the role of chair if needed, and why?
I want to thank everyone in the nominating committee. I was also a chair and a part of the nominating committee. In the process, it's tough. You have to be due diligence and make sure that the process is transparent. So I appreciate it. It's not easy. So I've served on the board for the past 6 years. During that time, I served as a board member, active board member, as a chair of a committee, as the most recent treasurer. And working with the previous chairpersons, Kathy and Eli, they've empowered me through my time as a board member. I think that they have carried the torch and ensured that not only myself as a board, but the general board itself have open communications, alignment, and coordination. I think the collaboration piece of participation is huge. You heard multiple times tonight that attendance is an issue. Reason is that as a new board member, you come in and you don't know your place at the board. So going into a leadership position, and if I have to, I hope not, I hope you stick around, here to support you, but if I have to step up, really, really honing in on that and ensuring that every board member feels as a valuable piece to the whole puzzle. So yes, if need be, I'm willing to step in and lead the board.
Any questions? Second question is, as a thought partner to committee chairs and chairperson, how would you approach coordinating between committees to ensure alignment with the board's priorities?
So funny enough, after the holiday party, I had a conversation with Indiana. Shout out to Indiana. And one thing that we mutually shared is that as board members, we don't have opportunities to really collaborate and speak to each other. Usually it's at the committee is limited to 5, 6, 7, 8 members. At the general board meetings, it's time stamp, so we want to get in and get out. So we're not able to really collaborate. So the one thing I really want to push moving forward is that participation piece, as I mentioned. I think that we have to maintain an open line of communication. Every voice in here matters. There's no reason that the chairs should be meeting up and discussing collaboration. It takes each and every one of us to really push this forward. So moving into the first role as first vice chair, I spoke with Anthony and Kathy about this. My biggest piece is recruitment, retention, and participation. That's really what I really want us to focus on. We bring in people, we shouldn't allow them to hang on the side, asking or fishing for an opinion. We should allow everyone to have a voice at the table so that we can have open collaborations between committees, between members. So that's really what I would want to hone in on, is that open communication to keep retention, participation, and recruitment. I think we've kind of moved away from that because we have a lot of work in front of us. The reality is the work starts with the people.
Any questions? Thank you, Leo. Thank you, everybody on the nominee.
And shout out to Kathy and the current exec committee. Kathy, you've led us through tough times. We appreciate your hard work and we hope you continue to be an active board member.
How are you? All right, thank you very much to all the candidates and their wonderful answers. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Now we're gonna move on to the next step, which is the the voting process. But before. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next step, which is the voting itself. So if we can start handing out the paper. Yes, please.
Do we really need to vote if everyone is uncontested?
Yeah. Yes, we do need to vote.
Okay.
We can start handing out the paper ballots, please. We also have a QR code. You have the option of voting electronically. I also want to go through a couple names.
Accessibility.
Look, I want to shout out again Carmen for that. That's the way we did it last year on the committee, and I think it's good practice, and I want to keep that going. So shout out to her again. So I want to call a couple names out that are online. I just want to make sure everyone gets. I'm gonna email you a link to the electronic ballot. So Jay Baez, are you still present?
Yes.
Okay, Radia Barnes, are you still present?
Yes.
Daniel Bonilla. John Francis.
Right here.
And is Ann still on? Yes, thank you.
Yes, I'm on. Thank you.
Thank you. Indiana Porter.
Here.
Liz. Lisette, I see you. And Carl, are you on?
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Sorry, I'm here. It took me a moment to find my mute button.
Okay, let me add Elisa to this. 1 second. I'm going to email you the link to the email we have on record with the board. I want to confirm that everyone receives it in a minute. I'm sending now. Yes, thank you very much. I want to remind you, you must print your name, email, date, and sign it, please, at the end. Make sure you print your name or else we don't know who's voting. How am I supposed to tag that?
Got it.
Richard, questions?
I'm trying to figure out who the hands out.
Oh, you just pass it on.
It's also to mention that the votes are not anonymous.
Yes,
That's
so
what you
as
put
of,
in your name. Voting is not secret ballot.
so, yeah, so the votes are not anonymous. And I remember from last year, as of tomorrow, they're all made public.
Yeah.
Just wanted that. Thank you very much, Lana.
Shouldn't vote for this because it's.
I will be closing in 15 minutes to vote, so 8:24.
Or when they do have to be signed, right?
Yes, signed, dated, name.
Signing.
Yes.
The online.
Love my pay grade.
Count
it.
Okay, great.
I don't know if that counts for anything.
Oh, right. Expired.
Not so weak. I was about to say the same thing. I'm like, not so weak.
Thank you.
Kids, get along with the stuff.
Yeah, we like the same man.
That's a big ball. It's a lightning cable. The low interest charge.
Never heard of it?
No. Here's the low interest charge, the one that's.
This one, have to go around and collect them.
Oh, the one that's just for the iPad.
And then quickly, when everyone, I'm gonna go around and start collecting completed ballot. Any in-person ballots to be collected, I will take them. Paper ballot.
All right, thanks, Liz. They will confirm receipt once they settle as a committee.
Take the ballot, please, Sarah, once you're done. Yeah. You collect, you know. You sure you want to do this? I said, yes. Paper ballot, paper ballot. I got ballot, paper ballot. Paper ballot.
All right, so we're gonna let, if you haven't submitted a paper ballot, please find Ty or a member to give it to you. Okay.
Well, I have,
Why do I feel like people walked in and out? Everybody wants. We got more meetings. Okay.
Always have to.
Yeah. We're gonna step outside.
Before you step outside to count, I know some folks are in the hallway and restroom. You know, we never had intermission, so I'm wondering if that's something we should do. So on our agenda, and I know there's some folks from the public since we haven't shared this earlier, we do have we technically have two resolutions from the executive committee, one of which is confidential, meaning that if we enter discussion, we will create an online meeting room for folks who are not community board members, and then for folks who are here in the room, we're gonna ask you to step out, including staff, to the near the vending machines area where there's a nice little area where you can sit and chat. Before we do so, and I think because we do have significant number of items ahead of us, I want to get a sense of, just with the show of hands, whether it's on Zoom or in the room, that you have questions, clarifying questions, comments, and matters around item letter A. So regarding the executive committee resolution, letter A, that cannot be discussed in public. That's that one, Wayne.
I'm not sure what you're asking for.
So I'm asking if during this general meeting, we're not able to have discussions about it, right? So I'm trying to get a sense of how many folks from board members have questions about it and have comments about that resolution in order to understand how long we're gonna be in executive session, excuse me.
How about how many don't have any questions?
I think questions will come up when start the
Well,
So
it wouldn't be discussed. So essentially, what I'm saying is the resolution is before us. There is a supporting package of materials with it. If there are no questions from board members or comments about it, then we would move to letter B. Okay. So be it. All right. So we're going to move to letter B, which Hector is going to present tonight from the Cannabis Task Force.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Zach Bonilla. I'm currently on the Cannabis Task Force, and unfortunately, Nobles will not be here today because he is sick, as you may know. We'll be discussing our Broadway dispensary located between 156 and 157. Along Broadway, the actual store number is 3770. We had a meeting on. Oh, simultaneously. Okay. So we had the meeting December 1st. Unfortunately, the card holder was not in attendance, so he wasn't there to answer any questions. His name was Najib Murshid. However, he did not also submit a floor plan, so the application was not complete. So it was moved to the executive committee, which was then presented by Nobles yesterday. And
Is that a negative now? What's that? What negative? Is that a negative resolution? No.
Is it?
No. No.
They submitted the floor plan before the actual, correct, that was one of the things that, when it was submitted to the executive committee, it was contingent upon them submitting the floor plan prior to the actual meeting, which they did. While we spoke at the committee, we had some members of the community in support, who showed support for the community, for the establishment. They are planning to repurpose their current business, which is fitted as a grocery store, a deli store. And they're planning to repurpose it as a cannabis dispensary once they get approval from us and, well, OCM. One thing that we did want to know, which was the amount of employees, they noted on the actual application that it was only 2, which yesterday, the son, Mashur, he was there in attendance where he clarified that they plan to have 5 to 7 employees. And I believe that's it. You might miss anything or? No. And then you have a question?
Yes.
Yes,
So this is between 157th and 158, right?
right, across the street from Boricua College.
Okay, so there's another dispensary that's open, that's Broadway.
160.
Yeah.
160 if someone.
Yeah.
But he didn't come.
Okay, so I didn't know if there, okay, so I didn't know if that was an issue, if they, was too close.
The correction is between 157th and 156.
No, just.
No, I was just curious as to if there was any stipulations or something in OCB that prevents 2 dispensaries being so close together.
Right, so our committee or task force doesn't actually give the approval. We are only somewhat of an advisory to the OCM. So the OCM has the ultimate say so. And that committee did not, that establishment did not come before us.
I understand that, but did that come up for consideration during the meeting?
No. I don't believe so, of
Thank you.
course.
You have a hand.
Yeah, but who has the others?
I have it, sorry.
If you can just, as a point of just correction, it's not as close as you may think because it's actually not between 157, 158, it's 1 block south. It's 157 to 156.
So the point of clarification from Wayne is that the location of the proposed dispensary is not between 157th and 158th and Broadway, but rather 156th and 157th and Broadway. No, this is the proposed one. The proposed location will be between 156th and 157th and Broadway.
Any other further questions? Just to confirm, the Cannabis Task Force had no issues with this application contingent upon providing the floor plans, which they did before the executive committee.
Thank you.
So that was cannabis. We're going to move on to land use for Reso letter C.
Thank you. So we're moving from cannabis to parking. I'm Wayne Benjamin. I chair the Land Use Committee. How are you? This is a resolution supporting a 10-year renewal to the term of a Board of Standards and Appeals zoning variance, which is to allow the continued operation of a public parking lot between 160, I'm going back to cannabis, 165th and 166th between yeah.
What happened?
Okay, anyway, the Board of Standards and Appeals exists in order to provide relief for property owners when there may be zoning issues that present hardships or other things that do not allow projects to move forward as of right, meaning that it would be permitted by zoning. This parking lot is located in an R72 zoning district, which is what most of Washington Heights and Inwood is zoned. R72, it's not that it does not permit parking. I think a couple months ago, it was presented, it doesn't permit parking. What it doesn't permit is public parking. So your apartment building or the school or any building that's allowed as right under zoning, it can have its parking, but this is not connected to any building. It's a private parking operation, so it required a variance in order to legally operate. And I say legally because initially, probably going back to 2000 or so, it was operating illegally. And that was brought to their attention. They applied to the BSA and got their initial variance. So their current term expires February of next year. They're looking for a 10-year renewal. All of the terms and conditions that applied before still apply. They still have to maintain a decent condition. They have to keep graffiti free. There's a fence that needs to maintain in good condition. And we had no objection to that. One of the things the committee did discuss is renewing the variance would not prevent a future residential development on that site. And while there are no plans for that now, as you know, one of the things that Mark Levine pointed out in his Housing Manhattanites report a couple of years ago is there are lots of vacant sites that may be privately owned or city owned and also underutilized buildings that could be repurposed for housing. If you look at this site, which is like almost 18,000 square feet, you could build a 75 to 80 unit apartment building on that. So just to be clear, just because there is a extension to the term, that would not preclude if the property owner decided that it was financially feasible or if they were approached by someone to build a property there, that it does not prevent that from happening. Other than that, it's an existing parking lot used by New York Presbyterian from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then it closes. Any questions? Any questions online? Good, thank you.
Oh, traffic is next. So that is letter D.
Thank you, Chair. So we are bringing forward a resolution support of DOT's proposed traffic and pedestrian safety improvement at Riverside Drive and West 165th Street. This is an intersection that the board has been raising safety concerns for 4 or 5 years, 3 years. Thank you, Jody. Jody does a lot of our legwork when it comes to this kind of things. The current design has only one crosswalk, a very long distance for the crosswalk. The pedestrian signal, I think it's 7 seconds, improved in the last year to about 13 seconds. And it's just an unsafe environment for our pedestrians, for vehicles. So DOT previously delayed this project while the Riverside Drive viaduct work was underway. But that delay stretched into years and conditions that never improved. So now they come to the board with a revised plan that improves pedestrian safety and traffic operations while maintaining emergency access, with construction anticipated next year. While the plan doesn't address everything that we would like to see, we raised concerns about bike lanes and lighting, specifically in the Rocky Dog Run. We made sure to include in our resolution so that it has consideration for future projects. Any questions? No questions on parking, nothing. I want to give a shout out to Sonia. We mentioned board members who in the meeting. Sonia goes to my meetings quite often. Sometimes we don't see eye to eye with parking, but that's what we want, active participation. Sonia, thank you.
Thank you for accepting my opinions.
All right, and the man of the hour, we have Isidro with licensing. So make sure you got your numbers straight if you got questions on licensing tonight.
Thank you so much, everyone. Happy holidays. First, I would like to thank Ola and the chair for putting all this material together, and also for providing me a heads up to see what was coming, that gave me an opportunity to write up the resolutions and just complete some of the specifics once we receive the questionnaire. So that helped a lot. Thank you so much, Chair Ola. A point that we must clarify, that is agenda item number 9 is listed as a new liquor license. Indeed, the change is for a class change. So agenda item number 5, instead of being like a new liquor license, the request is actually a class change, meaning that they are moving from a restaurant wine license to a fully legal license. Then after that, we had many resolutions. Most of them are dealing with our online permit. The committee didn't feel comfortable in approving one particular agenda item, and that is number 18. And that is because that particular operator, based on some of the comments made of the committee, had a lot of issues and not informing the community board on many issues. And that's why the committee rejected that particular resolution. Then, as you all know, we have a new restaurant that is now in Washington Heights, replacing Coogan's. We asked a lot of questions, and some of you asked questions already. Something that was not asked is that they are willing to provide access to a community room, as we had it previously. So I think that that's welcoming. Something that I don't like about this particular aspect project is that it has like only a few bar stools, meaning they can hang out. Hang out a lot. So. Other than that, it's very straightforward. I'm going to open up the floor to see any questions.
I just want to verify that number 5, that's the class change, right? Oh. I just want to verify that it's number 4, number 5, that's the class change that you spoke about.
Class change is for actually agenda item number 6.
What is 6?
Yes. It's listed there as a new on-premise license.
But it's a class change to full liquor. Okay, thank you.
Anybody else online?
We only accepted this portion questions from the board members. Are there any questions from our board members? I do not see any. Thank you.
I have one question. Can somebody just put the agenda into the chat? Because I'm not able to, or link to the agenda into the chat, because I'm not able to access it, and I just want to make sure that I know what it is that I'm voting on.
Thanks, Liz. We'll put the Airtable link in there, and I think that should take you to the PDF, like the direct.
Perfect. Thank you.
We have one question in the room. So, yeah.
New Year's permits 10 through 40. And so what time are these permits being given?
They have the option to stay open until 8 a.m. the next day. 8 a.m. For those of you that like to party, that'll be the best time.
I'm not gonna do that. You just have the option to stay to 8.
All right, guys. Thank you for everything and enjoy the holidays.
Thank you, Chair. I was like that too. I saw that.
Mary, I'll be able to go.
No one will be there till 7.
Yes, I just have a clarifying question on number 6. You said this is for a liquor license?
It's a class change, which means that they already have a restaurant wine license and they're requesting to go for full liquor license.
Okay, because it's a salad bar in Deli Court. So
Right.
that's,
That's the name of the place.
I'm gonna have to go visit that. Thank you. A salad and a drink.
Before you go with that. Oh, she's.
Are you guys done? Okay. I'm gonna give Alexis some couple minutes to get settled and we'll go. Or actually, you know what? She ready.
Yeah.
Let's have Alexis first and you go. No.
Okay, Jamirna Alcabar Ramirez. Okay, Richard Alman.
I may, Chair, could you clarify what we're voting on? Everything.
On everything.
Including the.
Yes, yes.
No.
Including the district manager.
Yes.
Yes.
That?
Yes.
With no discussion.
No one had any items to bring for discussion.
Yes to all.
Richard Alman, yes to all. Mary Anderson. Mary, you want me to come back to you?
Staying on A, yes, rest.
Okay. Mary Anderson abstaining on A, yes to the rest. Jay Baez.
Yes to all.
Jay Baez, yes to all. Jay Cabanas.
Yes to all.
Jay Cabanas, yes to all. Radia Barnes.
Yes to all.
Radia Barnes, yes to all. Wayne Benjamin.
Come back to me, please.
Okay, Jen Berlin.
Yes to all except the following. I vote no on number 4, 6, 7, 8. Everything from 10 to 17 is inclusive. Everything from 19 to 40 inclusive.
Wait.
It's not a yes to all.
So your no,
Yes to almost all.
so your no on 4, 6, 7, 8. And yes to the rest?
No.
Okay.
No on everything from 10 to 17.
Okay.
And I'm no on everything from 19 to 40.
Okay, so no on 4, 6, 7, 8, items 10 through 17, no on 19 through 40, yes to the rest.
Correct.
Thank you. John Benitez? Danny Bonilla?
Yes to all?
Danny Bonilla, yes to all. Hector Bonilla?
May you please come back to me?
I can do that. Eleazar Bueno?
It was here.
He's online.
Eleazar?
He's right there.
Okay, I'll come back. Darryl Cochran?
Staying on A, yes to the rest.
Okay, Darryl Cochran is staying on A, yes to the rest. Darlie Corneal? Okay. Nobles Crawford? Thank you. Robert Cruz?
No to letter 8, just the rest.
No to 8?
Yeah, letter 8.
No to number 8 and yes to the rest. Oh, A, I'm so sorry. No to A. Let me do this over. No to A, yes to the rest. Thank you. Stefan de Jesus?
Employee of NYC DOT, I have a conflict with items, D as in Delta and 9, yes to the rest.
So you have a conflict on Resos D and number 9, yes to the rest. And your conflict is because you work for the DOT. Okay. Catherine Diaz?
Not voting on B due to conflict because I work at OCM and yes to the rest.
Okay, no on B due to conflict of interest for working for OCM, and yes to the rest. No on E, Diaz?
Yes to all, abstain on B, sorry, abstain on B, yes to the rest.
Okay, abstain on B, yes to the rest. No on E, Diaz. Domingo Estevez? Domingo Estevez, yes to all. Erwin is still outside, right? Oh, you are. We're all going to see you. Erwin, yes to all. Erwin Fernandez, yes to all. Luana Ferriar?
Yes to all.
Luana Ferrara, yes to all. Sonia Figueroa Pagan?
I may be out of order, but is there a reason we didn't meet the DM before we vote on resolution A?
What's that?
What is it?
We would have to go to executive session if we're gonna discuss
Yeah, we are. We're out of order. Yeah. Because the chair gave an opportunity for questions.
Wasn't clear on that.
It was in the opening of the resolution. Yeah, she gave a good 2 minutes.
No.
But if that was the case, you
But she did.
folks out, I asked, even Bruce, excuse me, Bruce made them, is like, is there a motion? Nobody's asking anything, saying anything. And we moved forward on the items, that opportunity passed.
I'm sorry, I wasn't
And,
clear.
and no, and I'm not directing that to you, but I'm directing it to the sense that there was a good long silence in this room. Any comment, any question, any hesitation, that was the moment, because if not, we needed to move forward with the agenda for tonight.
I do recall asking something, but yeah, I was under the impression we would be meeting her before we voted on her. So my vote is no on A, yes to B, yes to C, 1 through C and D, 1 through 9, and no to 10 through 40.
Okay. Sonia Figueroa Pagan, no on A, yes to
Don't,
B.
we're not
C.
playing with that, please. Okay. there we
Right,
go.
no on A, yes to B, C, D, and 1 through 9, and no on 10 through 40.
Exactly.
Thank you. John Francis?
Yes to all.
John Francis, yes to all. Okay, Jonathan Fermetta?
Stand on A, yes to the rest.
Let's change my vote.
It's the same people.
Jonathan Fermetta, abstain on A, yes to the rest? I'm not sure. Anthony, somebody wants to change? Yeah.
Let's wait till the end. That's all everyone else.
Okay. Ryan Fujimura? Yes. Tanisha Grant? Tanisha Grant, yes to all. Heidi Guzman?
Not voting on D and 9 due to a conflict of interest and worked at DOT, yes to the rest.
Not voting on D and number 9 due to conflict of interest at DOT, yes to the rest. Jody Herson?
Yes to all.
Jody Herson, yes to all. Andrea Triago? Okay. Leo Jimenez? Leo Jimenez, yes to all. Okay, OC is not here, right? She's supposed to be on.
OC is online.
Oh, okay, OC.
Speak, but she's there.
She's left camera in the wrong room. We come back to her.
Okay. Alexis Marnell, yes to all. Tracy McNeil? Not present. Isidro Medina?
Can't vote on agenda item number 1, 4, 1632 because of conflict. They are part of my bid. I'm executive director of that entity, so I cannot vote. Conflict. And yes, to the rest.
So, conflict of interest on 1, 4, 16, and 32?
Correct.
Okay, and because they're part of the bid, and yes to the rest. Thank you. And Megas?
Yes to all.
And Megas, yes to all.
I'm sorry, it's OC. I'm here.
Okay, OC, what do you got?
I abstain on A, yes to the rest.
Okay, OC Camino, abstain on A, yes to the rest. Okay, Johannes Montano?
Yes to all.
Johannes Montano, yes to all. Diana Porta?
Yes to all.
Indiana Porter, yes to all. Liz Ritter,
I vote yes to all except for 2, 3, 9, 29, and 36. That's 2, 3, 9, 29, and 36, on which I am not voting due to conflict. All of those applicants have supported fundraisers for nonprofits on whose boards I sit.
okay, so, a conflict of interest on 2, 3, 9, 29, and 36. And yes,
Correct.
okay, Bruce Robertson,
Yes to all.
Bruce Robertson, yes to all. Steve Simon? Hang on. Melissa Sims?
Yes to all.
Melissa Sims, yes to all. Eton Steinbaum?
Yes to all.
Eton Steinbaum, yes to all. Lizette Tavares?
Yes to all.
Lizette Tavares, yes to all. Carla Negro?
Yes to all.
Carla Negro, yes to all. Sorry, making my little notes. Anthony Viola? Anthony Viola, yes to all. Crystal Woodley? Crystal Woodley, yes to all. Okay, Tremano Ramirez?
Abstain on A and B, yes to the rest.
Abstain on A and B. Yes to the rest. Wayne Benjamin?
Yes to all.
Wayne Benjamin, yes to all. Hector Bonilla?
Yes to all.
You meant that. Eliezer Bueno?
That's it, yeah. Well, it's not Pokemon call. He's not, he should be able to hear us. He's online.
Yeah.
And Ty Fujimura?
No on C, yes to the rest.
Ty Fujimura, no on C, yes to the rest. Yeah, okay, one more time, just ask Eleazar. Okay, and Luana?
Withdraw, I'm good.
Okay. All right, that's it, thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. So we're gonna go towards, oh, sorry. Actually, it's, your turn. Sorry, Erwin. All right. So come on, Erwin, for results from our nominating committee.
The moment we've all been waiting for, right? Out of the 20 chairs, who? All right, so we have our results. And I'm gonna read them now. So for the position of Assistant Secretary, Liz Ritter received 40 votes. No abstentions. For the position of Secretary, Alexis Marnell received 39 votes and 1 abstention. For the position of Treasurer, Heidi Guzman received 40 votes and no abstentions. For the position of Second Vice Chair, Denisha Grant received 39 votes and 1 abstention. For the position of First Vice Chair, Leo Jimenez received 40 votes and no abstention. And for the position of Chair, Anthony Viola received 40 votes and no abstention. Congrats to the new executive committee, and we look forward to next year and working with you all.
We gonna try, we gonna try.
There's two extra shout outs, but wanna wait until we go through our committee task force reports. It is the last meeting of the month, so I do invite any committee chairs to please line up who would like to talk about anything for January and what's coming forth.
You line it up.
Okay.
You hear? You hear me? Oh.
It's understanding, that's the problem.
Okay, I want to make sure that you understand me. It's very important that we are an equitable community board, and any of us that need extra help to understand, we all need to make a concerted effort to make sure that all of our board members are getting what they need. So I am the vice chair of the Youth and Education Committee. My chair's right there. He be working me, y'all. But we had a very, very productive meeting. I want to also shout out our community, our board member, our committee member, Stefan, for his amazing notes. I will be looking at you, or whoever is the chair. If you could ever catch it, we'll be looking at you. But we had a very important presentation from our community partners, parents to improve school transportation. I don't know if you know, but the busing situation for a lot of our children in our community is horrible. First of all, a lot of our children in our community, if you have special needs, they are bused out of the community. They are bused out of the community because we don't have the services in the community to serve them. So look for some resolutions next year on that. Second of all, it takes our kids between the law allowed time is between 75 minutes and 90 minutes on a bus. Most of our buses do not have heating and AC. There is a whole nother problem with the busing contracts and what the workers aren't doing. We have a lot of busing companies that are taking advantage, and what they will do is when bus drivers have some seniority, they will fire them so that they don't have to pay them, and then hire new people that they can pay at a lower wage. It is a very serious situation. So if you want to hear more, if you want to learn more about it, please read our very detailed minutes and look out for resolutions on this issue and much more in education in 2026. Thank you.
Hello, good evening. I want you to see my lips, Mary, so that you can see what I'm saying. Hello. Okay. All right. So I'll be very brief. I just wanted to give a couple of updates. The project to name a part of Inwood Hill Park in honor of Sally Fisher is on its way. Both Daryl and Alexis have been extremely proactive in working with the Friends of Inwood Park to finally honor Sally Fisher. I did not have the pleasure of meeting Sally, but I've heard wonderful things, and we're going to work with Friends of Inwood Hill to have pollinators and flowers to honor Sally's memory. And the second thing, I have spoken to the chair, now first vice chair, right, Leo? Is it first? Are you second or first? First, okay. The chair of Traffic and Transportation. He has in his mailbox the article, the New York Times article on Dolphin Park, and we will be drafting a joint resolution to call people under a roof, to call upon our elected officials to get this park open. So that's the first step. So thank you so much for coming, and for everything else, please refer to our minutes.
And then I saw Indiana online. Indiana, if you have an update from housing, go for it.
I do, thank you. Hi, everybody. I am Indiana Porta, Chair of the Housing and Human Services Committee. I just wanted to flag that in January, we are adjusting our meeting date. So we are not going to meet the first week of the month, and we are instead going to meet on the 3rd January, which I'm pulling up my calendar right now, is January 15th, and our meeting starts at 6:30 p.m. We are hoping to have community presenters come, at each of our upcoming meetings. So some of the topics that we're working on are affordable housing and also housing rights. We are going to be inviting an organization that does immigration legal services and housing legal services, and also looking for an organization to come and present about substance abuse and supportive services around substance issues. So if you have ideas for organizations to invite, please let us know. Also, just keep an eye out for our meeting agendas. In case there's a topic that's of interest, we'd really love to have other members come and join our meetings. The last thing I'll say is that last month we had the City Planning Commission come and do a very land use 101. We have a housing component in our committee, so we defer to land use for some of the more complex things. And what we learned at our training was what the resources are that they have on their website, and specifically some of the information that's available about housing in the city and affordable housing. So I recommend, if anybody's got 15, 20 minutes to spare, maybe you can take a look at that training or have it on in the background or refer to it anytime that you have a moment or are interested. But again, we just really are hoping to get more committee engagement to attend our Housing and Human Services meeting, and look forward to that in the new year. Thank you.
Indiana. Okay. One other thing, I don't know if he's still online, but Danny Bonilla, who's on land use and parks, yes, parks and cultural affairs, will be stepping down from the board this month. So this is actually his last meeting. Not in the room. Not on Zoom. He's honestly in a better place than we are. He's in Hawaii right now. And he still made it. So we appreciate it. But I know that he was on land use actually for a really long time. And really passionate about those. And folks who know Danny, he's also goes by Artman Dan. So while he may not be a regular presence at our board meetings, he will be we'll definitely see him continue throughout the community. Let's see. I'm sorry. All right, I do have a new business. I guess it's not a new business item. Yeah. Are there any old business? This board is quiet tonight.
I don't think so.
I got some. Sorry, I'm trying to So to answer, I'm trying to answer, excuse me. I'm better way, maybe you have a better way of saying it. But essentially, we obviously cannot respond to Sonia's question, but generally what practices in many other bodies is that after formal decisions are made, folks, that person shares 2 minutes, 3 minutes to introduce themselves. And so that person is in the lobby, which is why I'm trying to fill time right now. If folks are willing and able to stick around for the next few minutes before we make a formal motion to adjourn to the next meeting. So if you just less.
Thank you, Catherine, in the meantime.
Sometimes we do have announcements. There are announcements. Oh, there we go. All right. Anthony, does
my vote still counts?
Voting closed.
I'm sorry, the voting has closed about 20-ish minutes ago. Okay, so one of the things we voted on tonight was the hiring committee's recommendation for a new district manager. All board members received the recommendation resolution, the memo, as well as additional details. The vote passed this evening, and tonight we want to give the opportunity to Kiana Diaz, who has been selected by the board for the next district.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here today. I first want to give you guys the utmost thank you for believing in me, and allowing me to represent and help out with the community that has raised me. I was born and raised in Washington Heights. Sorry, I ran all the way over here, so I'm a little out of breath. But no, I was born and raised in Washington Heights. This community literally raised me not only in my youth, but also in my professional career. I have spent my entire adulthood fighting for Washington Heights and Inwood community residents and Marble Hill. And I thank you for allowing me to continue that service in helping you all in the community board. It's very easy for some people to say, oh, I'm a community board volunteer. When you sign up to be a community board, you're signing up to be a leader, right? And I want to help you all. I want to support you all in your leadership. Whatever way that I can be of help, I am here. Thank you for believing in me. I thank the hiring committee as well. Thank you for a very professional process. I also want to say that, my commitment to you all is to be able to be as transparent as possible throughout this process, throughout the entire transition. And even in my role here as district manager, I literally ran all the way over here. Ooh, I almost fell in the snow. But I promise transparency, and I promise to help in any way that I can for whatever resolution or whatever words come out of the community board 12, that when they are at the table, that the weight of the words that you guys put forth, that weight holds weight in any decision that comes before Washington Heights or Inwood. Whether it be a corporation, whether it be an administration, they need to know that our voices matter as well. And I just want to be here to support you all. I thank you all. And then also for the board team, for the board staff, I said team because I want to be a team. I want to be a team. I'm committed to being a team and making a stronger team, with the board staff and with the help of you all. Thank you. And thank you so much for having me here today.
I think, yeah, all right, we do the motion. No.
When do they start?
Well, we actually don't know. So okay, that's part of the public resolution. So we have to now proceed through the OMB process. There's a motion and a second. Does anyone object?
We're gonna, yeah.
Okay. Meeting is ended at 8:58 p.m.
And happy New Year.
Good night. Happy New Year.